So George Santos is doing the press circuit right now because he is trying to put the kibosh on this HBO biopic about his life called The Fabulist. He wants everyone to know that it is a work of, quote, effing fiction that has no basis in reality. And he did this on a recent interview with Ziwe. If you don't know, Ziwe used to have a show on the Showtime network. They actually canceled it after a couple of seasons, I guess because it wasn't profitable. So I noticed that she posted this independently of that network, and the production quality is noticeably lower than before.
I didn't watch it initially. I've never watched the other. I guess I watched the Chet Hanks one when they did that. But that
the Chet Hanks one will live in infamy. She has this style of interviewing people like Chet Hanks or like Julia Fox, who are largely known for being clowned on and made into memes. And she questions them in a way that's intentionally awkward. She plays into those awkward silences a lot and tries to trip them up on their own words.
This has to be a Gen Z thing.
She wants them to, read themselves so she doesn't have to. It's definitely a Gen Z style of humor. So this is a spoof of CNN. She calls it a ZNN interview on the Ziwe News Network. She says no congressmen were paid in the making of this interview, even though George Santos asked 3 times. So I guess George Santos struck her as a perfect target for getting memed on, as he, for better or for worse, leans into being a meme. And let's react to a couple of clips from the interview, and we'll see if Brett rages.
I can't.
Close your eyes. Picture a criminal. What are they wearing in your head?
A blue suit and a white shirt.
No. Tell me about your sartorial charge today. What are you wearing?
This is an actual Teo from Macy's. It's a Black-owned company.
Oh, wow.
And I love his suits. Ferragamo shoes.
Ferragamo shoes.
Yes, I'm known for that.
And are you wearing a Black-owned designer because of the circumstances of today?
No, actually, if you go through my entire congressional outfits, a lot of them are from the same designer.
And how many stolen credit cards did you use to pay for this look? Ferragamo, Hermes, you like the nice stuff too.
And I don't actually own Hermes stuff.
Oh.
Other than the cologne, that's all I wear from Hermes.
Got it.
Oh no, and the bracelet.
You're literally wearing an Hermes bracelet. How'd you buy that one?
This was a gift from my husband.
A gift from your husband?
Yeah.
The American people?
I hate her.
She's referring to political donors that donated to an LLC that was owned by George Santos, and he allegedly used political donations for personal expenses like OnlyFans subscriptions and designer luxury items. So he is now being labeled a con artist. He has been exiled from Congress.
I mean, he is.
He's a disgraced congressman.
He
and
is.
You know what? I like George Santos. I don't really, pay no mind to any of the things he's been accused of and all these federal charges he's facing. I think he's a likable, funny person. And Ziwe really grinds my gears.
Yeah, the problem with this isn't that he's a criminal. The problem is that she's a partisan hack that wouldn't do the same if the dude who got caught having sex in the halls of Congress came in. It would be Yas Queen Slay all the way because they're partisan douche canoes. I hate these people.
Yes, I am anxiously anticipating Ziwe's interview next with the staffer who made a gay porn film inside the Senate hearing room. I am waiting for that to happen, but I don't think it will because Ziwe interviewed George Santos to make him out to be a fool because he is a Republican. Let's take a look at a second cringy clip from this interview where she asks him to identify civil rights activists.
Very respectful, honorable person. Keep going.
Respectful and honorable about what?
On all the stances and all the work.
Marsha P. Johnson?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Just keep going. Next.
You don't know her.
Yeah, I do. Keep going.
Do you?
I do. Go. Just keep going.
James Baldwin.
Huh?
James Baldwin.
Who the hell is James Baldwin? Who's James Baldwin?
Harvey Milk.
I have no clue who that is.
Okay. What about Bowen Yang doing an impression of you on SNL?
I think he deserves an EGOT.
Would you like Bowen Yang to play you in the HBO biopic?
That movie's not ever going to happen.
Why not?
The book has no perspective of me or anybody close to me. It's a fiction.
You love fiction, though. Nicki Minaj.
Queen.
Are you a Nicki fan?
Yeah.
Prove it.
I'm not spitting verses for you.
Pull up in the monster automobile.
Gangsta with a bad bitch that came from Sri Lanka.
Can I listen?
I hate it.
See, she can't be a good sport for anything. Like, as the interviewer, shouldn't you try to be a good sport and have a sense of humor about things? I mean, I know she doesn't like George Santos as a person, but she just came off as more cringy than he did. I would take George Santos over Ziwe any day.
Yeah.
And that's why I love his cameo videos
I just
so
don't
much.
understand this trend of interview. I guess, like I said, this is a specifically a Gen Z thing to look into this. This is similar to the Bobby Altoff stuff. I'll never get it. Perhaps I was just born in the wrong generation.
Well, I don't know why everyone thinks that, like, a certain style of interview or a certain sense of humor has to belong to one person. Like, Nathan Fielder is not Bobby Althoff, is not Ziwe, is not whoever else you want to name.
Yeah.
They're all different people. I don't think any of them are particularly that funny. But I think George Santos has more humor in his left pinky than Ziwe has in her entire career. I thought that her interview with Chet Hanks also made Chet Hanks look more likable. She tries to, like, her thing is like, I'm gonna make this person feel comfortable, like we're friends, so that they talk themselves into a hole and they read themselves and don't even know that they're doing it.
Yeah.
But what would you say annoys you about Ziwe specifically?
I don't,
because you like
snark
it
isn't
really.
humor. Snark isn't humor. Snark is low IQ bullshit. It's not actually entertaining, and it's a product of a generation that has been raised to believe that you're not going to get slapped for talking to someone like a shithead. Okay, this is a generation of people who believe. Also, it's born out of Twitter speak, right? These are people who have learned to speak this way because they talk as if they're arguing with someone in 180 characters or less. I hate that. And it really is a product of a generation that isn't worried that something is going to happen to you. What is it Mike Tyson said? He said, basically, like, everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth, right? And this is the type of thing where it wouldn't fly in the real world, and you wouldn't speak like this to someone if you were afraid that something was going to happen to you.
Yeah,
There's
I think,
there's a base level of respect that you should have while having a conversation with another person. Otherwise, and it's the hypocrisy of it, not being willing to do this. Now, if she was willing to do this to somebody else who had a like-minded belief system with hers, then I would buy that maybe it was real. But she's not going to have this
like, do
conversation.
this with AOC.
Yes,
You know,
exactly.
Do this with Marianne Williamson.
Yes,
You know, somebody
otherwise-
like that. Somebody on your side of the aisle, so that you can prove you're not, as you said, a partisan hack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think the numbers speak for themselves. Like, everyone would rather watch a Joe Rogan interview with George Santos than a Ziwe one. I have no idea why George Santos decided this was the move.
I don't feel sorry for George Santos either. This dude's just out here trying to make his money, and you're gonna face some humiliation along the way while you're trying to make your money on top of the con that you ran on your donors and stuff like that. Whatever. But I hate partisan politics because I think both parties are full of scumbags. And in this case, he's at least funny on his own. She is not funny on her own.
Look, I wasn't like a cheerleader for Lauren Boebert or anything when she went through her Beetlejuice controversy.
Yeah.
But look at the way that everyone reacted like a bunch of pearl-clutching Puritans at the idea that she was having her boobs felt up at a Broadway musical. And then, meanwhile, they're filming a gay porn in the Senate hearing room, and it's all, you know, chalked up to homophobic bigotry if you have any problems with that.
Yeah.
It's hypocritical.
Well, that's why it's important
clearly.
to disengage from politics, because it's hypocrisy all around. You're getting screwed no matter what happens. All of it is essentially theater anyways. It doesn't matter who's having sex in what congressional hearing room. It doesn't matter which one of these guys is being expelled. They're still sending gazillions of your dollars overseas. You're still being screwed in every way, shape, and form imaginable. None of it matters. The documentary on him doesn't matter. He's a scumbag. She sucks at her job. All of it is bullshit.
I disagree. I think that the George Santos biopic is going to be a very entertaining watch.
He's if they made it a satire and they leaned into the ridiculousness of it all, sure.
Yeah, don't try to make him out to be some kind of like comically evil villain.
Hollywood can't make good political satire, because good political satire in current year would require you to be able to look at both sides of the aisle honestly, and they're not willing to do that. Unless you're willing to tell me that all of them are scumbags, I don't want to hear it, because scumbags exist on both sides. Stupid. And again, I understand that there's a market for this, for weird self-hating Gen Zers who for some reason want to submit, who want to like force themselves to watch stuff like this. I don't get it. I'll never get it. But when we watch clips like this, at least the Chet Hanks one resulted in him putting her in her place by taking account for himself and not being willing to apologize.
Yeah, kick rocks.
In an interesting way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And look, she got her comeuppance, to be fair. She lost her show. It got canceled because nobody actually wants to watch this type of stuff. And the audience that it's for, Gen Z, for the most part, probably doesn't have HBO Max. They're watching stuff on YouTube or Twitch or any of these other places. And this is just garbage entertainment. It's not actually entertaining.
One comment said Ziwe needs to host election debates. Okay. Host the Democrat debates. I dare you. Yeah. I dare you to do it, Ziwe. I think George Santos and Ziwe are equally fraudulent. Another said, he's so quirky and fun. You'd never guess he'd been charged with 23 felonies. This is going to be a nightmare for late night hosts to parody. What can they do that isn't already there?
They're not going to be allowed to anyways. You're going to have to focus, because they can't make fun of the fact that he's gay. You can only make fun of gay people if they're Republicans. Because again, this is partisan bullshit. You can make fun of, like, what they'll say is like, you can make fun of black people. You can make fun of gay people. They just have to have a different political belief system than you, which just proves that none of them actually believe a word that they're saying, because they're all scumbags. All of them.
Well, I got what I wanted out of that segment, which is to make Brett angry.
It doesn't take that much. All it takes is looking at annoying fake interviews like this, which are not. It's just, you know what it started with too? What was the one with Zach Galifianakis? Between the Ferns?
I don't know.
That bullshit. Like, look,
know.
all of it is. I hate this style of interview. I really do. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.